Welcome back to the Sports Grid on Hitz 92 FM. My name is Christopher Scott, your host. Garfield is out sick today, so I'm filling in, and of course, Scott Wilson is the man at the controls. So we continue our discussion about the World Championships with one of our analysts that you will hear on the radio and on the TV, Mr. David Riley. Mr. Riley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Yes, I'm always excited and always happy to have you on air. So, it has been the training and preparation, Ian Forbes said, has been smooth, and the athletes, it seems as if, based on how he sounds and what we've seen on social media, David, is that the athletes are ready to have a successful championship. Now, the chances of Jamaica medaling at the World Championships, do you see them getting more than what they got at the last championships, or do you see an equal amount, or do you see less in terms of what they got the last time out?
Well, it almost sounds like a conflicting question. because the thing is, I mean, you start off by saying that the athletes geared up and looking to have a successful championship. And so success for the athletes, in their definition, might be different from our expectations. And so we while we want to balance those things, yes, we're aiming for medals and so on, but we don't compete in a vacuum. We have track events where 8 persons line up and race. Relay teams are racing. Athletes in the field events are really delivering their best. But as we go into the championships, I mean, we have to really temper our expectations. I think it's going to be a tough experience for us in Tokyo. And for us, I just think we need to tough out Tokyo so that we can continue the development of track and field and work towards the Olympics. We have a lot of emerging athletes who are, I call them class of 2021, those athletes who went to the under-20 World Championships and did exceptionally well. Right. 2022, this team has a lot of them. And we talk about transition and the athletes not making transition and so on, but we don't have that problem in Jamaica. It's actually much better than it used to be. When you look at the team that we have going out there, I mean, the average age, I think, is maybe 24. The young team, they're really talented, but not quite there yet in terms of medals, but I think they will make us proud. I think, too, that this period that we're going through is the best time for us to put some real emphasis and effort on the relays, because relays really are for teams with depth, and we do have depth. I mean, you might not have the individual star that can get on the podium, but you have 3 other supporting cast who will make that team exceptionally well. And so I think this is an interesting time for us. And I think we're still going to do well. Just for us to really temper our expectations, given the state of the competitiveness of the athletes going into the World Championships from other nations.
And, I love the fact that you talk about the class of 2021. For persons who don't know, Clayton sisters, I know Akira Nugent, Brian Lavelle, Akira Nugent at one point, a couple of these athletes. And we always talk about, being somebody that's in Rashawn Clark as well, who used to run for Camperdown. Yeah. And, there's so many of them there. Antonio Watson, who's a world champion right now. So there are a lot of people, there are a lot of athletes, young athletes that were in that youth world championships that are now doing well at the senior level.
That's just 4 years ago. Ralford Mullins
exactly
was in class of 2021.
The national record holder too, who has really been consistent this season. But we always talk about, and you being a coach in the high school scene, David, and has been with the senior teams as well, they always talk about burnout and what the athletes go through, especially here in Jamaica, with champs being such a spectacle in the Western Hemisphere. Is this class, especially the class of 2021, and we've listed them, are these athletes proving to people, especially persons who watch Jamaica track and field, that term of burnout, or that phrase that they don't make the proper transition to pro. Are these athletes denouncing that?
Well, for me, maybe. For me, though, burnout is really a mental concept. It is a mental fatigue that would, cause a person to leave the sport. Injuries, persons might sustain an injury, but most injuries you can recover from. You can get it treated. You might need to back off a bit, take a longer time to recover. So it's not the injuries that necessarily cause burnout. It might be a frustration from repeatedly being injured that the person might mentally say, I can't bother with this. It's too much for me. But it's not the physical, because whatever work that you do on the track in training, you can recover from that. And you take whatever time necessary to recover. It's not a physical problem. It's really the mental state of the person just not wanting to push anymore. I mean, track and field is really hard. You go to training and it's really tough, and you know it's tough because your body, you feel it, and then you go back the next day. For what purpose? And keep going on and on and on. It does require a huge amount of mental toughness to do that. And the champion athlete is not a normal person. That person would have endured some really difficult things that the normal person would not even reach anywhere near. You can't be a normal person and be a champion. That person has to have some exceptional ability, mental toughness, and stick-to-itiveness that you just don't find in the regular person. And so the burnout would be, in my mind, just not being able to continue with that level of activity. And that's why I think Old's performance year over year was huge. Because having won 3 Olympic gold medals, why would you go back again? To do it again, and then you do it again.
Yeah.
What's the point? If I get 1 Olympic medal, I'm done. But it's an amazing task, and we should never underestimate the level of mental toughness needed to parade your skills in front of a crowd, and knowing that they're watching you, and then the expectations of that. It's not just a regular person that can do that. And I think our athletes have been prepared for that. They've gone through the rigors of the junior program with champs and some of the stresses related to that. And they've learned from a very early age how to cope with that, how to function and exist in that environment. I mean, most of the athletes would necessarily be competing in a crowd where they're shouting their name. I mean, you go to champs, it's just maybe 2 or 3 colors in the whole stadium, and everybody else, you're not from those teams.
Right.
You really have to dig in deep to do something special and quiet the crowd. And if you're able to do that, I mean, you'll be a just above average person in terms of your mental capacity. So I think we're good to go. We just need to be patient with this group and continue to encourage them, because they're working hard. And I think it's going without notice, the number of them that have actually made the transition and to be on this team. I think enough attention has not been really given to the quality of this team.
Yeah. And, we're so excited to see what they're made of, and so excited to see how they perform. Now, we always talk about the track events because, people know how we shine on the track. There's no doubt about what we do. The field events now we see coming through more and more. Of course, some of the notable, years where we started coming through for the field events were in the 90s, but up to now, we started more and more getting through the field events, the shot put, the discus, the triple jump, the long jump. How proud are you that the field events are now getting a lot of recognition, especially the last, let's say, 10 years?
I'm very happy for it. A lot of it also has to do with the change in the quality of the athlete that is being taught the field event. In the past, you get to learn hurdles if you can't sprint. You get to jump if you can't sprint or hurdle. And so the field events traditionally didn't have the most athletic person from your squad pursuing those events. And that has changed, where, you have a Pinnock who was almost a sub-13 sprint hurdler, jumper, doing exceptionally well. I mean, you think of even Stoner, who's no longer with us, high jump and did all kind of other things, athletic. Then he went to discus circle. The quality of the athletes that we have doing the field events is a lot different. And so the skills are acquired and mastered with a higher level of efficiency than we've seen before. And it's the mastery of the skill that is leading to the performance. I mean, it's not a matter of trying harder. It's really a reflection that these athletes have mastered the skills necessary to result in high level of performances. And so we actually have to thank the coaches for having an improvement in terms of their coaching eye to spot these athletes and to encourage them and develop them in the way that we're seeing. And I think it also highlights the point that whichever event we decide to put some effort in, we actually will do very well in it. And we see that now with the 800. Years ago, it would be laughable for us to think that we can have 800 meter athletes in the World Championships, and they're running very well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not at the level of the Kenyans, but the Kenyans aren't at the level of us with the sprint. But they're breaking into the sprint, so we're breaking into the middle and long distance. And I think we just need to be patient and continue to encourage those events and just put the effort in it. We should see some pole vaults. There's ever hammer thrower on the female side on the team, and Naoka Cludis. Why can't we throw the hammer? We're really good at discus. Might not be as strong for the shot, but the hammer might be the best thing for us. For our athletes who might not be the top of the line discus throwers, it might be transitioning to the hammer throw would be a great option. So we just need to really expand our participation in the event and reflect a true track and field powerhouse. I mean, we're a top 4 in the world, and it needs to be evident not just in our sprint and hurdle program, but in all the events that are on offer.
I really, really can't wait for these World Championships. Is there a specific, and I know you're probably going to tell, I don't want you to shy away from it right now. Is there a specific event that you are looking forward to in terms of what the Jamaicans can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's looking forward to the men's 100. That could be a special event and experience for us. I mean, the last World Championships, it was, for me, I describe it as we're back. When before that we were missing from the start line of the 100 meter finals, and then we just showed up. So for me the statement was, hey guys, we're back, we're coming back. We might not be at the front, but we're coming back. And this time around, we're more than just being back. We're back almost as if we want to take the thing over again. So there's this suspicion about us and this reverence that our competitors now have. We're the Jamaica that you missed us. Yeah. We're back. Make sure you have 3 flags.
Make sure you have them ready.
Make sure you have them ready to raise. Don't be nervous about it. Make sure you have. Don't be caught off guard, because it's possible. Don't. So I think we're looking for that because it could be special, and I don't think the expectations are that it will be special, but it could be special if we are able to demonstrate the level of fitness that our athletes have shown right there in the finals at the World Championship.
Yeah, trust me. You say get the flags ready. One of the persons that I want to talk about is Oblique Seville. Oblique Seville has been absolutely fantastic this season. He is one of the very few that have a winning record against Noah Lyles in the 100 this season. and he has consistently been running under that 9-9 clocking. We've seen multiple times where he has been one of the favorites to get on the podium, hasn't done so. Do you think the time is now for him, along with, because persons expect Kishane as well to be on that podium? Do you think that the time is now for Oblique to get on that podium as well and maybe even challenge for that gold medal?
I think so. I think he's still learning the event. The race analysis that I saw from his last run almost suggested he doesn't reach top speed. Really? And yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, what we know from a theoretical standpoint is that everybody starts at 0 and 0 meters per second, and then the gun is fired, and then you accelerate using your strength and power to get to your max speed. And then when you get to your max speed, you then maintain that for the rest of the race. So you're racing everybody else with your max speed. It almost looks as if the guy never gets to max speed. Like, his speed, it never settles. And so you wonder, how much more does he have?
Right.
Technically, if he executes, and sure, based on the instructions that he's received, I think it's going to be special. But the data was very strange in terms of, what his speeds were going through that 100 meters. I mean, they break it up into 10-meter segments, and it's very interesting. I mean, when you look at it, it's almost like it doesn't follow what the theory says, and it means that he does have more if he puts his race together well. It's going to be an interesting experience for all of us, just seeing it as well as for him, because his reaction most times, he's surprised at how fast he's actually, the time that he's produced. He surprises himself almost every single time, and maybe he's finding his way in there and just learning technically, and we're behind him, and not just him, but the other athletes in there wearing our colors, just to make sure that they go there, represent us and represent themselves very well.
One other person that we have to talk about from that 100-meter race is a person that people expect to win that gold medal in the 100 meters after just missing out on that gold medal, that top spot last year in Paris, is Kishane Thompson. When you talk about persons that you don't think hit top speed yet, I think he's one of the persons I believe has not hit top speed as yet. Could we see a sub 9-7 clocking from Kishane Thompson in this 100 meters, should he get to the final with everything going how it should?
Well, you're going to need 9-7 or faster to win, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. The intensity and the pressure is going to force athletes to really put down the pedal. You can't get out and jog or give like a little, Sunday morning troll kind of thing. I mean, it's going to need max effort from each athlete. And I think the athletes, they will get to 9-7 or faster. And I think he is definitely one of them who have that potential, showing the form. And it's going to be interesting. Just being calm enough to put together the entire race from start to finish, irrespective of what's happening in the lane next to you, because that sometimes tends to create problems. You see the person closing in on you through, peripheral vision, and it affects your concentration and your technique, and then you lose the race in the last, 10 meters. We saw that with Bolt beat Gatlin. Gatlin was leading almost, and the pressures of Bolt, he stumbled the last try, and Bolt just beat him. I mean, the time was like 100 of a second, but nobody cares. Bolt won with these seconds. But it was very close. I mean, we don't even know what time it is anymore, but that shows you that the composure for the entire race is so important. Misstepping the last try can cost you the gold medal, cost you a medal. And so just putting the whole thing together, being mentally prepared and just visualizing and just doing that over and over, I think he certainly can put it together and deliver a very special performance in front of a crowd that loves Jamaica. I mean, Japanese love Jamaicans, amazing. I'm not sure if you've seen the videos, but Japanese, they just love Jamaicans. I mean, everything Jamaican they want to consume. So I mean, it's almost going to be like a home crowd for the Jamaicans there in Japan.
Yeah, of course we know about that story with Hansa Parchment and the Tokyo Olympics, and you know, the help that he received and got the gold. So she helped him to the gold medal, and that was a great story. You know, finally, before you go quickly, how many medals do you think Jamaica is going to win, and why?
I haven't finished my tally yet.
You're still writing.
I think we can get 3 from the field. I mean, I would say Ralford, Shanika Ricketts in the triple jump. I would say Jordan Scott in the triple jump. The other medals are going to be, you know, would be on the, you know, icing on the cake. In the men's long jump, you could get a medal there, but it's going to be tough. Then on the track, I mean, the men's 100, the men's sprint hurdles, women's sprint hurdles, and the relays. I'm struggling to see, you know, much from the other events. So that's why I say we have to tough it out, you know. we have to tough out Tokyo. This one is going to be tough.
Okay. Of course, remember, guys, the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, can be seen live and exclusively on TVJ, TVJSN, online and One Spot Media with radio coverage on Hitz 92 FM. David Riley, of course, we're gonna hear his wonderful analysis on what's been going on. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure always talking to you, and glad we got to get some stuff out the way. Thank you so much, man.
No problem.
All right, that was track and field coach David Riley. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we have our Just Bet feature with Jesse Blake.